Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again, and I just wanted to introduce you to Tectonic Slam real quick because his character is hardly anything completed or finished or even started. He's currently at level 82 Juggernaut, and it is using the Onigoroshi weapon. Tectonic Slam, however, can be used with a variety of different weapons, including Terminus S, Doomsower, Void Forge, lots and lots of different shit. But all I wanted to do right now and today, real quick, was highlight to you Tectonic Slam Rework, which is pretty fucking insane. As you can see there, that was the melee range, quote unquote melee, of Tectonic Slam in its current form when used with the charged slam mechanic. So 1 in roughly 3 chances when attacking, you will consume one of your endurance charges to have a much bigger area and much better damage. When you have a very reliable source of endurance charges from the Juggernaut, like I do here, and some pretty good attack speed with multi-strike, that's basically going to be happening all the time, and this charged slam is currently pretty freaking insane. Like, it does a full screen clear, as you can see right here. Currently in this setup, I have the increased area gem, I have 20% area from the Templar area, and then 35% area from the Juggernaut node. So nothing too crazy in the way of area scaling, and yet this right here is the result. Basically, it's just got to be one of the best melee things out there right now. It scales really nicely off of the damage that it gets from your endurance charges and has a good base damage to begin with. Converts a bunch of your damage to fire, so you can convert the rest and go pure fire, or just stack something entirely different altogether if you really want, and has some pretty good synergy with the Juggernaut, which will constantly try and replenish your endurance charges so that you're always getting the endurance charge benefit. You can also do that with I think pretty sufficiently with Chieftain, or just Scion using hybrid Juggernaut plus something else, or I think you could probably even make the argument for a bunch of other ascendancies that just gain pure damage from the ascendancy and ignore the charge slam altogether on boss fights, but for map clear instead use Blasphemy Warlord's Mark, and I think that should pretty much sustain your endurance charge generation throughout the general type of mapping. Now that is just a very quick intro to the character and Tectonic Slam. I just wanted to get you a little bit thinking about Tectonic Slam. It was slightly mentioned in my original starter video for Chieftain, when I said Chieftain Consecrated Path would be a good starter, and interchangeably Tectonic Slam can be tried in that build. Like I mentioned, when doing the Chieftain version, you can use Toa Forest Strength to gain a pretty reliable amount of endurance charges, paired with a Warlord's Mark Blasphemy, as well as Enduring Cry, and then you will be able to keep up your endurance charges throughout mapping, and thus give yourself a really good area. But when push comes to shove, against a single target, you probably won't have too many endurance charges, but that doesn't particularly matter because you're getting a huge extra amount of damage from things like Namahu's Flame and Hinakora's Death's Fury, whereas Jug is just plain getting a bit of accuracy and then a bunch of sustainability of endurance charges. So I think you can supplement, or just completely replace that rather, the endurance charge generation with actual damage from other ascendancies and still get very good damage for single target while taking care of your clear with Blasphemy Warlords and that sort of thing. In any case, it's just a quick introduction to the character I am currently building, which is a Juggernaut based around unyielding, unflinching, unbreakable, so that you can wear an Abyssus, so that you can be super thick and run a Onigoroshi. Onigoroshi is a sword that does quite a lot of physical damage as you level up, and then you go into Her Embrace whenever you ignite an enemy, which will be every time we crit. Her Embrace gives you an absolute shitload of extra fire damage, as you can see here. Current Path of Building DPS against Shaper is 1.5 million. Without Her Embrace, we have nowhere near that much damage. It is a pretty good solution to current dual-wielding shenanigans where you're not sure if you should be using stat sticks, how you're going to be using dual-wielding shields, two-handers, whatever. Onigoroshi is just a good staple weapon in that case. Like I said though, besides that, you can go plenty of other things like the Phoenix weapons, dual-wield Burning Phoenix weapons. You can go Terminus Est, you can go Void Forges. There is quite a lot of options with Tectonic Slam at the moment, and I just wanted to get you thinking about this skill because it's got so much area. It's pretty satisfying to play, and the damage is actually quite insane too. Now currently this path of building DPS is a bit inflated because it assumes when you tick endurance charges that you're proccing your charge slam every time, so be careful with that. We currently have 900k. When you proc an endurance charge, that's your damage, but that's a 1 in 3 hit. So instead our realistic DPS is more like 1.2 million, something like that. But we do have a long way to go in this one. That's currently just what you need to tick. I'll give you the path of building even though it's nowhere near complete. I plan to have something like 6k life. I'll be pretty tanky with all of my crab barrier sort of stuff. And I'm currently running a pyre ring just for some really satisfying explosions, which I'll show you in just a second. When leveling these characters, you can use just about anything to level with. I went with Static Strike early on, and then once I got Tectonic Slam, it felt pretty damn nice, especially once you factor in Endurance Charge on melee stun for your leveling, because that generates quite a lot of endurance charges and lets you get your area scaling going. Currently just running Herald of Ash for some aesthetics, running a War Banner as well, and then of course my Aspect of the Crab, which if you don't know is similar to endurance charges, just gives you some damage reduction, but you lose them all as soon as you get hit, and then it just keeps stacking up every 0.5 seconds, and like I said, just a bit of tankiness. Tree basically builds itself. It just goes all the way around the side getting the crit stuff. It's kind of a sad tree with the amount of travel you have to do, but such is life as a crit sword marauder. So you do get all the crit nodes there and then all the crit nodes there, but you can easily play a different type of weapon variety. Like I mentioned, the chieftain I went with was pure non-crit, and you can even go things like Namahu's Flame, axes. Tectonic Slam is fairly versatile. Just wanted to get you thinking about Tectonic Slam, so hopefully in the next couple days I will have this character actually wrapped up and ready to go for you to ship out in a nice guide format with plenty of endgame tests and DPS. But I just wanted to leave you with why I'm using the pyre. It's not really a good ring. It doesn't really do anything for my build except for add these nice little bleedy explosions that sound super satisfying and destroy corpses. But I just put it on for leveling at around level 11, never took it off. I will probably take it off for endgame. In any case guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.